Good morning, you guys. Today we are heading out to Aibai. Aibai is probably my most difficult place that I go to. Not because of anything, not because of one element, but it's just like a group of elements that just make it a difficult place. I'll throw up on the screen how I think it's like 11% slope, and I think it's like 90 meters or something like that. Anyways, it's super steep. It has a massive drop off, but that's not what makes it hard. It's the winds that make it hard, because they have downdrafts, they have updrafts, swirling wind, and that's really what makes it hard. Anyways, we're heading out there today with the RAA, the Rural Agents, or the Rural Airstrip Agency. We're going to be doing an airstrip inspection, checking the surface of the ground, drainage, things like that. So anyways, it's probably foggy out there right now, maybe not, but it almost always is. And if not, we've got basically a window of time that we can get out there, basically really before 10 a.m., maximum 11 a.m., because the winds will pick up by then, just making it impossible to land there safely. So I'm gonna go ahead and pre-flight the plane. I don't really think that we have tons and tons of cargo to go out there, I hope not. And then we'll get loaded up and head on our way. So this is how we actually check the fuel here on these. They're like a little magnet thing. Drop it down, push it up really slowly, and then it shows you 250 right now. So I do it a couple times just to make sure that, yep, it is what I think it is. Anyways, really nice way, quick way to check your fuel.
Book Tower, good morning, November Tango Kilo. Request taxi Aibai, 5 POB.
November 10 Kilo Crew Tower, morning draw. Brian, taxi to runway 17 left 20 and backtrack, can line up. Wind light and variable, QNH 1019. Temperature 19, time 35.
Good morning, Roland, 1019er. Clear to backtrack and line up 17 left, November Tango Kilo. November Tango Kilo, ready for departure.
November 10 Kilo, 17 left, make right turn, clear for takeoff.
17 left, right turn, clear for takeoff, November Tango Kilo. Be able to just pop right up over top of these clouds right here. Croker Tower, November Tango Kilo, departed time 37. We'll be tracking 240, below 8,000. Estimating Aibai 50.
November 10 Kilo, 8,000. Contact Mosby, primary VHF 120.1, signal HF 659, alright, 6538 at 15 miles.
15 miles, contact Morsby 1201, 6538 or 98. November Kilo. Alright, just looking at the airstrip chart, 454 meters long. Elevation, touchdown zone is 6340, so I've already got my setup and my baro here at 6840, just to say minimum is when I have to turn my final, so I don't want to go low. 9% slope on touchdown, and then the remaining is 11% slope, and 454 meters long. And don't sag on final. Morsby 120.1, November Tango Kilo transfer.
November 10 Kilo, Morsby, that's 1007.
1007, currently 15 miles to the west, estimating of Groga, estimating Aibai, time 49er.
November 10 Kilo, 6598, now contact 65.
6598 or 38, Aibai, November Tango Kilo. Pattern altitude is going to be 7,400. Yeah, 74, 73, something like that. Let's hit our OBS, runway 230, which we're just about lined up with already. And it extends the runway right here, which is super nice. Just kind of see exactly, just because there's a bunch of mountains out, you can't really see exactly where it is right now. And a lot of times I don't see it until I'm like really close. This helps kind of draw a sight picture of where you're supposed to be looking at what section of the mountains. All stations Aibai. Kodiak November Tango Kilo 10 miles to the northeast. 7,600 estimating Aibai 49er. Looks like a really nice day out here. Already got 5 knots of headwind, which is okay for landing here, but I'll expect downdrafts if that's the case. Short final downdrafts. All right, if we have to go around, power up, 20 degrees of flaps. For 73 knots, left-hand turnout, reset ITT to 740. And I'm just going to line up with my runway now so that I can fly straight into it. Even though I'm at 1,000 feet, give me an idea sort of what the winds might be like on final. Looks like a consistent 5 knots, better than a tailwind, which it usually is. Orsby 120.1, November Tango Kilo in the circuit Aibai, report after landing. Sharp prop 4. 120 off in the vehicle. Degrees of flaps. And slow on down. Yeah, it looks like 5 knots of headwind. So expecting downdrafts, short final. That's always fun. Fly right over top just to look down at the windsock. If there's anything indicating there, which there probably isn't because it's so close to the edge of the mountain. And also just fly over just so they can see that we're here. Make sure that there's nothing on the runway. Looks like they've moved the cones in a bit, make it a bit skinnier. Looks like a lot of washout on the right side. Alright, I'll plan to land around the first cone in is kind of where I'm shooting for. Up and harness is done. I'll do flaps and SAR on the ground. We will turn base 7,050 feet. Go a bit wide, give myself a little more time to think. 20 degrees of flaps. Turning final 6840. Turning base.
Copy 1020 and Hogan 120, 5 at 15 miles south, final vehicle.
For 82 knots. We'll hold our altitude till that hill over there. 22 knots final. Flaps checklist is complete. 7 knots of headwind. 9 knots of headwind.
Minimums.
Alright, that's exactly where I wanted that. Do need to go around, power up, 20 degrees, left-hand turn. Committed.
$500.
Ooh, that parking bay looks really soft. I'm not going to go into it all the way. I think I'm just going to turn right here.
I was just down getting coffee with some missionaries. I'm just gonna make the 5-minute walk back up to the airstrip. See how the RA is doing. Whew, I'm out of breath on the inspection. Yeah, we're at like 6,000 something feet, so Clearly I'm out of shape walking up the hill. Alright guys, this is all just sweet potatoes, or they call them cows. Here. Morning, I'll get that. I don't know if you guys can see it up there. They got some pigs up there just tearing up the ground. Like right here, they've just already torn up all the ground and stuff, which is great for if they're making a garden, but they're terrible for if they get onto the airstrip, because that's exactly what they do, and just rip up the airstrip. We've had a couple places that have had that problem. And then, yeah, you've got soft spots where your front wheel can sink in or something like that. It looks like the RA is still working on getting the runway inspection. They're just measuring it right now, but should be around 454 meters, which is 1,490 feet or so. And touchdown's 9% down there, and then slowly gets a little bit steeper and steeper up in here, up to 11.3%, I think, at the steepest. But they started making this runway, I don't remember how many years ago, quite a few, with wheelbarrows and shovels. And then later had a bulldozer and a skid steer come in here and finish it off in about 2 years after that, or I think 5 months of actual work. So yeah, pretty crazy that they've just dug out this whole thing out here in the middle of nowhere. It's pretty awesome. And yeah, it's pretty awesome that I actually get to come here and land on this. Like I said, this is probably the most difficult place. Not because of the steepness, not because of anything out here necessarily, but because, like even this morning, the winds are coming over top of these mountains and then coming down, which creates a big downdraft on short final, because it's just right where it comes down. So, and then a lot of times we'll have tailwinds coming, pushing you in. So anyways, yeah, tailwinds are probably the worst, or they'll have a headwind and a little bit of a downdraft, then a tailwind pushing you in, because if you're already coming in at 70 knots and you have a 4 or 5 knot tailwind, now your ground speed is even faster. And then as you're coming into like a sloped runway, you have to match the slope before you pull your power out and flare. So that transition between your matching the slope and flaring and all that is so much quicker when you've got an extra 5 knots pushing you in. So I'm feeling a little bit of wind in my face now, so I'll have a headwind for takeoff, which is great. Well, we're down here at the end of the runway now. Yeah, it's probably got like a, I don't know, 70, 80 foot drop more or less that goes off the end of it. So when you do have tailwinds pushing you in, then by the time the wind gets here to the end, it kind of goes up, and then you have a potential to have some updrafts on short, basically, as you're coming over the numbers. And at this place, I mean, I've landed almost like halfway up, like a third of the way up before, which yeah, makes it a bit scary on slowing down. But it looks like the wind is now shifted, and I'm gonna have a tailwind on takeoff, but we're going out of here nearly empty, just with one person, so even that really shouldn't be an issue. Looking at the windsock, I've got probably 4 or 5 knots of tailwind or so, something like that, kind of coming and going. But anyways, if you want to fly into the same place on Microsoft Flight Sim, on my Patreon page, I actually have someone has built this, and it's on some forums as well. But I'll put all the details where you guys can fly this same airstrip or back to Goroka or wherever else. Put my strip charts on here and show you some drone photos and stuff. So anyways, if you guys are more interested in that kind of on the ground content, or even videos like this, I have a lot of this kind of content on my Patreon page. It's like maybe 2 to 5 minute videos walking around these kind of places and stuff, because typically I don't have time like this, like I do today, to shoot this kind of video. So if you guys like this format, leave a comment down below saying that you like it. I'll make more of it. If you're like, yeah, this really sucks, I just want to see you guys fly, well then, leave that comment down there below too. So the reason why we're doing these airstrip inspections today is every few years we want to be able to come back out to the airstrips and evaluate to see if, for one, the maintenance is being kept up, they're not deteriorating past a level that we feel comfortable bringing our $2 million airplane into, and also just to give the community, hey, here's what needs to be done to make this place a safe place or for us to be able to continue to service you. So anyways, yeah, this one has quite a few undulating kind of areas throughout it. On this kind of right here in the touchdown area, this is kind of the dirt patch I was talking about. This is kind of where I like to land because I like to give myself a little bit more margin at the end, just because it does drop off into a wall at the end of it. And I don't want to have any downdrafts, so I'd rather land a little bit further in, maybe like 60 to 80 meters in. And because it's such a decent sized slope, I'm not gonna have that too much problem stopping. Usually, I have landed here when it was super muddy and slid up the hill, so it can get like that pretty easy though as well here. All right guys, this is me holding the camera level, and you can kind of see how much of a slope it is right here. And that is why we shut off our uphill valve for our fuel. Otherwise, all the fuel from the top wing will just drain down into the bottom wing through the vent tubes, and then you're out of balance. We're just about finished now. They're just finishing up top, so we're gonna go ahead and get ready to go, get my plane ready. Anyways, I'm thinking about actually shooting the flight back to Goroka, just like my normal style. So if you do like this, like I said, leave a comment down below. I know it's a little bit shorter than normal. Appreciate you guys watching. Consider subscribing if you guys like this kind of content. And yeah, see you next time.